What is up, guys? This is On&Off Football, and the Green Bay Packers are taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Sorry, guys. Oh, my God. I zoned out. Yeah. Packers are taking on the 49ers. When do they not take on the 49ers in the playoffs? They will be in Santa Clara, 49ers home, because the 49ers did get the number one seed in the NFC. Packers looking dominant, especially coming out of the Cowboys game. Jordan Love, unbelievable. He has been playing phenomenally. 21-1 in the last 10 weeks. Unbelievable. Unbelievable by Jordan Love. Packers they need this game more than anything. The Super Bowl is one priority, but beating the Niners in the playoffs is probably the thing that Packers fans want the most. It's like the Bears wanting to beat the Packers. It's the same thing. Packers beating the Niners would bring joy to Packers fans across the world. This is all the Packers want. Obviously, the Packers are striving for the playoffs. Yeah, they strive for the playoffs. Now they're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, okay. We got the 49ers in the playoffs like we always do. The last 5 years, this is going to be the fourth matchup. Unbelievable that we are going against the Niners. This time it's different. We got number 10 throwing the ball. Not 12, 10. Jordan Love is a different breed. Packers are going to have a really tough challenge, but the Niners can't expect anything light because the Packers are going to come in swinging. They're going to get the run game going. They're going to get the pass game going. Packers have a great chance of winning this game, sending them to the championship game, potentially against the Lions or the Buccaneers. All I would want is a Packers-Lions championship and get the Packers to the Super Bowl. That would be phenomenal. But this game is very winnable. It's a winnable game. Both sides of the ball. It's a 50-50. No matter what. The Packers, you don't know what you're going to get out of them. So you can't tell whether or not this is going to be an easy game for the Niners or a hard game for the Niners. It's going to be a 50-50 game no matter what, especially in the NFL playoffs. But if we look back at the recent matchups with the Niners in the playoffs, we had the number one seed. We were the divisional round. We had a home advantage. Everything was looking good. This game was going well for us. Miscues was really Aaron Rodgers not forcing the ball enough to other receivers. It was just Devontae all around. I mean, Aaron Jones, like this is horrific. Like if you look at these stats, Aaron Jones was our top receiver. 9 receptions of 129 yards. Devontae 9 for 90. Then you go to all our other receivers. It's Allen Lazard for 1 reception and 6 yards. Then he goes Mercedes Lewis, 1 reception and a fumble. Randall Cobb, nothing. Dominic Daft, nothing. Josiah DeGuara, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we had a pick in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo threw a pick. They had nothing on the side of the ball. Our defense held them very well. Don't know what the Packers were doing in this game. This was a very winnable game, but the issue with Rodgers is he forced it to Devontae too much. He checked it down to Aaron Jones too many times, and it's just not good. So you establish the run because the Packers did not really establish the run. They did not give Aaron Jones enough carries. But yeah, you give Aaron Jones the ball, you will beat the Niners. Again, we're going back all the way back to the championship game against the Niners. Aaron Rodgers, 2 interceptions. Those are basically garbage time picks. Oh, no, the first one was not a garbage time pick. 2 touchdowns, threw the ball 39 times, could not establish the run. 12 for 56 and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, again, is the leading receiver. 9 for 138 yards. 4 for 59 for Jimmy Graham. Allen Lazard, 3 for 36. Like, these are not good stats when you compare it to how Jordan looked. Like, if we look at the last game against the Cowboys with Jordan Love, 16 of 21, 273 touchdowns. Okay, phenomenal stat. But when you look at the run game, you look at 21 for 118 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs, 6 receptions, 151 yards. The Packers did not need to throw the ball as much because they had the run game working. I mean, Aaron Jones was cooking them. Romeo Doubs, a phenomenal game, 151 yards. More than Devontae's ever gotten in a playoff game. That's unreal. Devontae is always the main receiver for Aaron Rodgers. Yet, Romeo Doubs has less receptions, more touchdowns, in these games than Devontae Adams. That's not a good sign for Aaron Rodgers when he comes to play the Niners. You know that Aaron Rodgers has to be good, especially if he's coming off an MVP season, that he has to be good in these playoff games if they want to make it far. The Packers, let's be honest, the Packers are basically the Dallas Cowboys with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could never get to the Super Bowl. He got there once, and that was when the defense was phenomenal. But Aaron Rodgers can never get to the Super Bowl after that Super Bowl. He got to the championship 4 times. Got to the divisional round 3 or 4 times. He could not win. These are just looking at the Niners games. We played the Bucs in the championship, lost that game. Okay? But the Packers are playing the Niners with a completely different quarterback. They need to establish the run. They need to get the ball in the receiver's hands. They need to stop the run. Christian McCaffrey's a deadly, deadly running back. He is basically Offensive Player of the Year, him or Tyreek Hill, but Christian McCaffrey's having a phenomenal season. If the Packers can stop Christian McCaffrey and force and Purdy to throw the ball, put pressure on Purdy, he's going to choke. You can't give Purdy time to get his checkdowns and get his yards after catch to McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. All these players know how to get yards after catch. So get the ball out of Purdy's hands. And when I say get the ball out of his hands, I mean bat the ball down, because he did terrible against the Ravens. Like, let's look at the Niners against the Ravens. The Niners against the Ravens did awfully. Brock Purdy, 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. They got the run game going more so, but they did not give Christian McCaffrey as many carries as he wanted because they were already getting destroyed. George Kittle was the leading receiver. Deebo really did nothing. Brandon Ayuk had 113 yards for 6 receptions. I mean, you get the ball out of Purdy's hands. You bat that ball down. You put pressure on him. He's going to force interceptions. He's going to force turnovers around the field. You cannot give Purdy time to get the ball into George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey's hands. You can't, because he knows how to get the ball to his receivers and he knows how to make space. But just like Jordan Love has been cooking. Jordan Love is phenomenal. He has been doing phenomenally. Just look at his stats. Last 3 games, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 157 rating, 128 rating, 125 rating, 272 yards, 316 yards, 256 yards. His best game probably was against the Cowboys. I mean, the game against the Vikings was really good, but his game against the Cowboys, his completion percentage was off the charts. His rating was off the charts. He only threw 4 incompletions, no picks. I mean, Jordan Love has been improving week in and week out, and it's only up from here. The Packers have the best chance to beat the Niners than they ever did, playing them the 3 times they played them in the playoffs. Jordan Love is going to show that he is the franchise quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, and that Jordan Love can do what Rodgers didn't, and that's beat the Niners in the playoffs and potentially get the Packers to the Super Bowl in his first year. Can't count the Packers out yet, because looking at that game against the Dallas Cowboys, let's look at their game against the Niners. Honestly, that game against the Niners, that was not good for them. They lost 42-10. Prescott threw 3 interceptions. Brock Purdy had 4 touchdowns. But they didn't even establish the run. I mean, not as much. They got Christian McCaffrey, 19 carries, 51 yards. That's not that many. But that's because their secondary just did not play well. So, Packers going into the Niners game, they need to be cautious of Brock Purdy getting the ball to all his playmakers. He has so many playmakers on that team, Christian McCaffrey especially. But the Packers have been playing pretty well. If Joe Barry couldn't clutch up here and do what he does best and be a defensive coordinator, the Packers can win this game. It's going to be a tough game. They play on Saturday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 Central Time. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. I'm nervous, but I'm also very optimistic. Let's see where this goes. And Let's beat the Niners. Let's show Aaron Rodgers that we don't need him. That Jordan Love is the face of the Packers. And that he can beat a team that Aaron Rodgers can never beat in the playoffs. But yeah, I thank you all for watching. And as always, go Pack, go.